As always, outside the North Gauteng High Court. Good morning, Chriselda.
Very good morning to you, Eben.
Yesterday, we had lots of tears and religious undertones and apologies and so forth. Will Oscar today come out and finally give his version of what happened on that fateful night?
Well, it certainly seems so, but Oscar Pistorius has just walked inside the doors here at the North Gauteng High Court, where we're expecting him today to give a great detail about what happened on that Valentine's Day morning. Oscar Pistorius will have to give his version, but we're not expecting anything different to the affidavit that he gave, where he says he shot and killed Reeva Steenkamp thinking that she was an intruder in his home. We're expecting him to have a very difficult day again today, as you alluded to the fact that yesterday he was very emotional inside the courtroom. This morning when he walked inside these doors here behind me, he seemed very firm, but I guess it remains to be seen how Oscar Pistorius will react again once he gives details of or his version of what happened on that Valentine's Day. We're not expecting anything light coming as well from the state prosecutor, Chriselda. We saw a lot of his tactics yesterday where it really came to light. We got to see how Chriselda does go about cross-examining some of the witnesses. So we'll have to see if Oscar Pistorius will be able to withstand the pressure when Chriselda does tear into his testimony. There are many questions that Oscar Pistorius needs to answer. Critically, some of them under cross-examination. Most certainly, he will be asked why he did not look next to himself when he heard the sounds coming from the bathroom, why he fired behind that bathroom door, not knowing who was behind there. We know during the state's case, some of the witnesses did testify to Oscar Pistorius knowing when and when not to use or to discharge a firearm. So many of the questions that Oscar Pistorius over the next few days will need to answer inside this court to keep himself out of jail.
Emotionally looks in quite a fragile state at the moment. How do you read him at the moment, and do you think he'll be able to stand up to what will be rigorous cross-examination in the days to come?
Well, he certainly does look very fragile. When Oscar Pistorius, every time he walks inside this courtroom, he almost has a very stern face and seems like he's able to take on the world. Somebody who we've seen over the years most certainly stand up and compete amongst the best in the world to really put South Africa on the map. But it really does become difficult once he sits in that gallery and listens to testimony after testimony from state witnesses that we've seen before the state wrapped up its case, and also now as we see him on the stand at the moment. Let me just turn around. I understand that there might be some family members who are coming through here to the courtroom as well, relating to the Oscar Pistorius trial. There's Oscar Pistorius' family there, his uncle Arnold, as well as his aunt walking inside the courtroom at the moment. But we're really, it remains to be seen how Oscar Pistorius will handle Chriselda. He's been described by many as a bulldog during cross-examination. We got a taste of that yesterday, and certainly we're not expecting Chriselda to handle Oscar Pistorius with kid gloves during cross-examination.
Yeah, I'm sure everybody wants to see how he stands up under that kind of pressure. I wanted to ask you about the reaction to yesterday's, for lack of a better word, performance on the stand.
Well, I think it was very strategic on his part, or rather for the defense as well, for Oscar Pistorius to issue an apology to the Steenkamp family. This is the first that we've heard from Oscar Pistorius. This is the first time he's spoken about how he feels following that shooting on Valentine's Day. We saw Oscar Pistorius already, before the case had started, we saw Oscar Pistorius already break down in anticipation, knowing, of of course, that after the defense pathologist, Jan Botha, had given his testimony, then he would need to go and defend himself in that court. The same it was yesterday as well. Oscar Pistorius really breaking down and basically unable to speak as he was apologizing to the Steenkamp family. But very ironic was the expression on Reeva Steenkamp's mother, June. She was very stone-faced, yeah, but I must say, she had absolutely no emotion as Oscar Pistorius was apologizing to the family. We continued to monitor her expressions during the course of the day, and absolutely emotionless. She didn't seem like she wanted to talk about at all whether she believed that Oscar Pistorius was indeed sorry for what he did. So really, the talk outside the court at the moment is that the defense is really trying to portray Oscar Pistorius as someone who's truly sorry for what he did. Also, we saw a lot of what Oscar Pistorius gave was a difficult life that he's had since a child. He was bullied at school. He's different in that his disability put him at great advantage, and he defied the odds. We also saw issues relating to his love for dogs also coming to the fore, and how Oscar Pistorius says he has helped people when they have come into contact with violent crime. So this is really in contrast as well to when we saw state witnesses paint Oscar Pistorius as someone who was trigger happy and had violent outbursts. Oscar Pistorius yesterday saying that he's a good man and that he's really done some good, despite the state witnesses are giving a totally different picture.
Yeah. He will have to do a lot of good on the stand today to convince not only Gerrie Nel, but the judge and I think an entire country and the planet. Chriselda Lewis, as always, thank you very much.